Ah, time to
Can't say
save the
I'm
next
very excited to
villager.
go back there. That dream world sorta creeps me.
Perhaps you should spend less time complaining and more time getting on with the mission.
Yeah.
Here we go. I breathe air scented with death and resist the urge to laugh. For I know it will sound like the words of a madman. How long have I been in this fresh hell? My box, my prison, is tucked beneath a stairway in the long unused catacombs of some infinite castle. Outside I hear the words of a funeral dirge that plays without end. Light has no place here. Wind is a forgotten friend. I pray for death to come, but he forsakes me. Time passes, when eternity slips by in a single tick of the clock. Someone knocks on my prison. Anyone there? I hear an unfamiliar voice say. My savior! I claw at the door of my jail, embedding thick splinters under my ragged nails. I scream for help. I laugh. I sob. Surely this is a product of my adult mind. Surely it cannot be true. Help me, I cry. For the love of all the gods, help me. And possibly I hear the sound of a lock being torn out and falling to the floor. As the door slowly creaks open, I have just enough time to see a silver-haired boy in a floating book before the light pours inside. My eyes, accustomed to blackness, explode with pain, and I am forced to turn away, screeching like a goblin. Who are you? I ask, shaking hands covering my face. How have you come to this place?
I am Grimoire Voice. This is Pingus. How long have we been searching for you? Now come, stand. We shall awaken from this nightmare together.
What an inspiring speech, huh? The one known as Pingus extends his hand and pulls me from the cell. Though my eyes are slow to adjust to freedom, my ears are as keen as ever, and they recognize the staccato sounds of heavy rain. I never thought to hear that again, I whisper. Would that this were not such a terrible storm.
Would this not...
Oh!
Would this...
Go!
Would that this were not such a terrible storm,
said Grimoire Vice.
Look at your feet.
I force my eyes open and see water pooling around my ankles and lapping at my shins. There's so much of it. Yep.
Yes, and more comes each moment we delay. If we do not make good our escape, we shall all drown in this castle. We know you are weak, but you are our only hope to survive this.
Time, that long-forgotten friend, made itself known again. I nodded my head and swore to save my rescuers, no matter the cost. The castle catacombs are a maze, twisting upon themselves like the endless entrails of a giant. I squint down the dim corridors and proceeded north. At the end of the corridor, I find a row of 20 gorgeous canopied beds resting atop a carpet of velvet. All are covered in a thick layer of dust and cobwebs. Searching for the door to the next room, I come upon a shapeless mass of gray matter that has been shoved against the side of the wall, and despite my fever, I think I see the outlines of a door just beyond. When I reach out a finger and touch a piece of the mass, it turns to dust and drifts away on the wind.
I just imagine, and then it just crumbling to dust, like in a cartoon.
Realization slowly dawns, and I fall to my knees and weep. Corpses. I face a mountain of charred and crumbling corpses.
Ew.
I look from it to the beds and back again until the horror dawns full upon me. Someone has piled these bodies into a tower and set them ablaze.
A mass burning?
Whether they were alive or dead, I do not know. Insanity will not permit me to consider the proposition further. I make a sound, whether scream or laughter I cannot be certain. Then my mind grants me merciful blackness, and I find myself opening the door and leaving that most terrible of rooms. I squint down the dim corridors.
If we go south, then we're just going backwards.
Yeah, go east. Oh,
West will be going.
going back, so north again.
Yeah.
Went down the dim corridors. Keep going north.
I guess?
At the end of the path, the waters rise to my waist, exhausting me both physically and spiritually. I pray that this is the way out. Eventually, I can stand the sight of the waters no longer, and so I turn my eyes upward. Imagine my surprise when I see a series of paintings hanging on the faded plastered wall. Each depicts a person in the prime of life, clad in clothing of the highest quality. The styles, however, are strange to me, leading me to believe that these people have lived long ago. So they're wearing suits, or lab coats, or whatever.
Or medieval garb.
Yeah, one subject wears an outfit that particularly catches my eye. It is constructed of a thin, breezy cloth and decorated with a motif of flowers and birds, while encircling the figure's waist is a leather belt of the most perfect construction. It is a stunning costume, even by modern standards.
Okay, that is not medieval.
As I gaze at the portrait, I am struck by a desire to touch it with my own hands. You know, at this era in the game, like, a long time ago would be modern era.
Fair point.
Yet, as I extend a single finger to the painting, I am gripped by a most unpleasant feeling. Staring closely at the image, I see it bend and warp into the shape of another finger. Something behind the picture is pointing at me. Is it another prisoner? A fellow inmate trapped for eternity in this place? I cannot let it pass, and so I seize the portrait with both hands and throw it into the water. The wall is hollow behind the painting, and inside I can just make out a body. Whether or not this is a prisoner, there will be no rescue. The poor soul is long dead. Scraps of clothing lie on the floor around the bones. Only a small amount of fabric has survived, but it features the same delicate designs that were depicted in the portrait.
Oh.
I have been admiring a row of corpses blocked from view by portraits of each victim at their pinnacle. Enough shielding my eyes. I paddle forward through the water, squint down the dim corridors and proceed south, and proceed south, and proceed west, and then south again.
And we're going backward.
And then we're going back. The water has risen to my chin and now laps greedily at my mouth and nose. You dumb bastard, shouts Pingus. He surely desires to say more, but the rest of his insult is cut short by the rising water. Is he calling me dumb? Grimoire Vice, wet and tattered, floats on the water's surface. It is already too late for him. This wasn't how it's supposed to end.
No, that came over.
I went the wrong way. Which way am I supposed to go? What's the clue? You looking up a guide?
Yeah.
I'm back at the save point.
Does that mean we have to do this over? Do him over again?
Of course not.
Oh, thank. Yeah, north.
And then, on the row of 20 gorgeous canopied.
East.
Hoorah. Next room. East.
North.
North.
East.
East.
This one's gonna be new.
At the end of the path, I find myself in a great hall with only the sounds of rain for comfort. The waterlogged red carpet squishes beneath my feet as I approach the center of the room. Once there, I behold a beautiful dining table upon which rests china and silver of the finest construction, as well as the remains of a fantastic feast. As my eyes continue to adjust, I see many chairs surrounding the table, each holding a dinner guest.
Oh, they're all dead, aren't they?
Movement, I approach the chair at the table's head, but as the truth of the matter dawns on me, I recoil in horror. The host of the feast is a corpse, and are all the invited guests. As are all the invited guests.
Yep.
An army of foul, wriggling insects have made homes in their remains. And this is the movement I saw. This once splendid feast was now nothing more than a requiem for the damned. I take a moment to steady my shaking hands and slowly back away from the table. Desperate to lose sight of the abomination before me, my gaze lands on the chairs upon which the dead were seated. This is a mistake, where the chairs prove to be even more terrible than the feast itself. Each one is covered in a layer of spikes that run from the seat up the back and down the arms. This explains the color of the carpet beneath my feet. I can only pray that the unfortunate diners were dead when the meal began. Or if not, it is a simple task to envision the agonized screams that must have sprung forth from their mouths. My mind grasps frantically at the possibility that these souls had committed some terrible crime for which this was punishment. Though in truth I suspect they had committed no crime at all. There would be no tomorrow for these unfortunates. This was their last supper.
North.
Against all hope, we make it to the front door. Break it down, someone cries, so I give myself to the effort. In tandem with Pingus and Gormar Vice, I slam my body against the thick, sturdy door. On the third try, it gives way, and we find ourselves sprawled on the ground outside the castle. The storm is in retreat, the clouds above are still dark and foreboding, but to the west I can see a thin shimmer of sunlight trying to break through. How can I thank you? I cry as tears join the rain on my cheeks. I would surely have died in there. Looking down, I certainly notice that my dress is in tatters, and sheepishly I try to cover my exposed skin.
Your dress?
Asks Vice.
Then you are a woman, madame.
I am. I proffer to a smile. I suppose that comes as something of a surprise, seeing as I exist only in the form of words. I can see that the one known as Pingus is disappointed that the torn dress will be given no further description, but he hides it well. With a nod and a shrug, the three of us set forth to our awakening. But behind us, an awakening of another kind is taking place. Black smoke fills the abandoned castle, providing the countless damned souls inside with their final shroud. After a moment, the castle's windows shatter with a mighty roar. A fresh breeze blows through the hallways and corridors, clearing the smoke away for good. As we watch in awe, uncountable black shadows slowly flicker to life, crossing to and fro in front of the broken windows. For a while, I was reading mindlessly.
You were?
Yeah, I was just reading mindlessly, like in the zone, you know?
Yeah.
Oh my god. The castle's dead have awakened to their new life as shades.
You have anything to say about that?
Hopefully there will be
Oh,
no
she's
labyrinth
not hooded
next
anymore.
time.
Yeah.
I hear that.
What does she look like? Oh, she has glasses.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a big nose.
Whoa. Alright.
At least these won't be as
Another
long.
victim.
I figured a book like you would be into all this word stuff.
Even I have my exceptions. Now let's be off.
If only we could use like text-to-speech or something. A colony of massive sculptures was visible in the distance, their tall forms scraping against the sky. Vice and Pingus had never seen such a sight, and their eyes widened as they tried to take it in.
Those buildings must be huge if we can see them from this far away.
There's Voice!
What do you think, Vice?
As Vice considered his answer, the sun beat down on them with renewed ferocity.
Perhaps they are some manner of mirage.
He said. No! Go for it. Wait, no, it's me! Under this heat, a mirage or two would hardly be an unexpected sight. Pingus nodded and wiped the sweat off his brow, leaving a trail of sand in its place. He thought he'd never spend those... So thirsty! The ancient road on which they walked was black and cracked with age. Here and there, thin wisps of grass pushed up through the rocky surface, as if defying those who had laid this material down over their home. The heat reflecting from the road made Pingus lightheaded. His feet hurting, he crouched down to rest. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Is this someone playing a joke on us or what? The complaining had already begun. The kind of sight kind of reminds me of NieR Automata.
Does it?
Yeah, plants growing over concrete roads.
Ah,
Vice tried not to let his eyes roll too much.
a joke?
He said,
No, joke. This road leads to the city of art. Perhaps the path itself is simply some manner of grand artistic work.
"You don't sound very sure of yourself there."
Perhaps not, but thinking of it in this way might make it easier for you to bear.
Pingus glanced at Vice's grinning face, shook his head, and resumed walking.
Weiss doesn't have a mouth, though.
He has a face on the book cover.
Yes, but
It doesn't move.
yeah,
It's words, man. Logic doesn't make sense here.
fair point.
As time passed, Pingus's feet grew more painful, and his throat drier than he thought possible. He tried not to look further than the next step ahead, because the bright sunlight made him hesitant to trust his own senses. Are you conducting the music?
I got bored, okay?
Well,
We are definitely getting closer.
and said Vice in an effort to cheer his companion.
Yes, this must.
Much certain. Encouraged,
Stop.
yeah. Pingus lifted his gaze. Suddenly he stopped walking, choosing instead to stand in the middle of the road with his mouth and eyes wide open and his finger pointing in the distance. "Water!" he cried. "It's water! It's water!" "You?"
Oh, water?
asked Vice.
Preposterous. I don't see any water.
"Over there! Just ahead of us! Look! The sun is reflecting off it!"
Oh, you see the mirage.
Without waiting for a response, Pingus sprang to life and bounded towards the sight. What in the... There was no water, there was nothing but sand in every direction. Pingus closed his eyes and sighed as Vice floated up behind him and chuckled softly.
I believe this is known as a mirage.
He said,
Many a desert traveler has spoken of such things.
"I'm gonna get a mirage if I keep narrating everything." Pingus shook his head, bewildered. Suddenly he pointed off in the distance, his eyes wide once more. "Wait, there it is! I just missed it! Look, it's right there!" Pingus sprinted off again, leaving Vice with no choice but to follow. After a few minutes of running, Pingus came to a halt. "I could have sworn it was right around here." Confused, he put his hands up to his eyes and rubbed them vigorously. As soon as he stopped, he noticed a blue shimmering pool of clear water just over the next rise. With a shout, he bounded off in search of it. The chase continued for nearly an hour until an exasperated Vice finally floated up to Pingus and struck him in the face with his cover.
Enough, you blithering idiot! Stop this at once! There is no water here!
Pingus's face clouded. "There isn't?"
There is not, and perhaps next time you will listen to me when I tell you as much.
Vice paused for a moment, then continued speaking in a slightly kinder tone.
However, I suppose this mad chase was not altogether wasted. It seems we have arrived in the city of art.
Pingus looked up. Stretched out before him was a row of impossibly tall sculptures. Their journey was at an end. They're at a city. "They're huge!" cried Pingus, completely forgetting the heat and pain of the past few hours. I've never seen anything so big." That's what she said. Each sculpture was formed from roughly the same shape, a tall rectangle that stretched up toward the sky. But that's where the similarities ended. Most were covered with panes of glass that reflected light in 1,000 directions, while others seemed to be nothing but frames of steel. Some had tall spires on their tops, while others possessed triangular caps. "What kind of city is this?" said Pingus. "Where are the people? Where are the houses?" "You."
Perhaps the land is intended exclusively for artistic use.
The debate continued as they made their way through the city. Miracles of artistry were everywhere. Great iron crates with wheels sat silent on steel rails. Trains. Beautifully carved works with lights of red, amber, and green dangled over every street. Street light.
Traffic light.
Traffic light, yeah. As they moved away from the massive sculptures, they found a great array of smaller ones. Some were covered in glass or brick, but many were composed of materials they had never seen before or encountered. But they had never encountered before. Or before encountered. They had never before encountered. Yeah, that's how it said. The sheer variety of colors and styles was staggering. Unable to find a theme or purpose to the abstract works around them, Pingus and Vice eventually fell silent. Please talk. I don't want to talk. On the outskirts of the city, they discovered 3 sculptures in the shape of humans. Pingus uttered a sigh of relief as he approached them. Finally, I was getting tired of modern art. The 3 statues were indistinguishable, except for a single word chiseled into their right arms. One read Alpha, one read Beta, and the final one read Gamma. Like radiation. As Pingus moved to touch the nearest statue, a bird flew from the top of one of the sculptures, alighting on the statue's shoulder. It emitted a brief, beautiful song that took the form of words. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth. The false ones will speak lies. With that, the bird departed, as if on cue. The 3 statues shuddered to life, acquiring color and form as they began to breathe. Hey, look at that, said Pingus. They're alive. The triplets bowed low before Pingus. Please, said Alpha. You have to get me out of this nightmare. I am real. Oh my god, is it this riddle?
2 lie, 1 is telling the truth.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, this guy's lying. No, this guy's lying. And then, like, oh, this guy's telling the truth.
Fortunately, I already looked up the answer. But I'm gonna see if you can get it.
Stop lying, said Beta. He turned to Pingus and threw his hands in the air. Alpha's a fake. You know, I'm the real one. Alpha's a fake, you know. I'm the real one. What a load of crap, said Gamma. Beta is a fake. Everyone knows I'm only the real one around here. Their respective pleas given, the 3 statues returned to their frozen state as silence once again enveloped the city. When you consider all the statements, only one of them could be the real thing, said Vice, that you were supposed to say, that I did not notice. Pingus furrowed his eyebrows and considered his answer. Only one form is real, the others are false. The real form will always speak the truth, the false ones will only speak lies. Oh my god. The epic music too, like a battle theme.
I mean, I know which one it is. And it didn't really give us any other hints.
Well, took a long look at the statues and tried to clear his mind. Yeah?
It's just repeating it now.
Yeah, I want to see it again. Oh, holy fuck. Yeah.
I mean, Beta's only calling Alpha a fake. Whereas Gamma's calling Beta a fake. And Alpha's not really calling anyone a fake.
Yeah.
But he says he's real. So say your selection out and I'll tell you if you're right.
This guy's pointing at that guy, this guy's pointing at that guy, this guy's not pointing at anyone, this guy's not getting pointed at. Gamma?
It's Beta.
Beta? Okay. One speaks the truth. The false ones speak lies. So if he was telling the truth, then he was saying Alpha is fake. Alpha would be telling a lie. That's one. Gamma telling a lie, saying Beta is fake. Whatever, I don't care. Ah, I hate these riddles. The real one is Beta. Though Pingus's voice betrayed a notable lack of confidence, he was relieved to see Vice nodding at him.
If Alpha were telling the truth,
Began Vice in the dry tones of a lecturer.
Beta and Gamma would be fakes. But in that case, Gamma's claim that Beta is fake would be the truth. Even though Gamma is a liar, therefore that theory crumbles. Now let us presume that Gamma spoke the truth. That makes Alpha and Beta liars in this situation. However, Beta is calling Alpha a liar, which would leave us with two statues telling the truth. Finally, let us assume that Beta is telling the truth. If so, Alpha and Gamma's lies wouldn't make sense, therefore, Beta must be real. That makes sense.
Yeah, as Vice finished his explanation, Alpha and Gamma crumbled soundlessly into dust, while Beta sprang to life once more.
I hope he had pants on. Congratulations, villager.
Said Vice in a cheerful voice.
The time to awaken has arrived.
Thank you for saving me, cried the villager. He dropped to his knees and bowed his head as low as it could go before an uncomfortable Pingus pulled him to his feet.
Why did you have a dream like this?
Asked Vice.
Have you been to the city before?
The villager slowly looked around at the bizarre objects and sculptures that dotted the landscape. He shook his head. I don't think so. I mean, it's possible, right? There's no way I could have ever been to a place like this. But at the same time, I feel like I've seen it before. Deja vu, muttered Pingus, just like the mayor. The vague sense of unease that struck Pingus during the mayor's dream spread once more through his mind. I don't want to talk anymore!
That was rough.
I am positive I have seen that place before.
Okay, that's enough. Don't need you getting all weird on me too. Okay, there. Now all the villagers can wake up, right?
Yes, if the mayor's assumption was correct. I think I have had enough wordplay to last a lifetime. Thank you very much.
You're telling me. Anyway, let's go see the mayor.
Oh, we're about to get another sword.
Don't get too ahead in the gameplay. Guide. Don't spoil yourself in the game.
Alright.
Oh, how wonderful. Thank you so much. Here, I have something for you.
Wow, this looks valuable. I can really have it?
Of course, it's apparently a weapon of some renown, but we have little use for it.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thank you again for everything.
Weapon story!
Oh my god.
Oh, we're missing one sword now? It's a katana!
No, there's always one more in the list. There was once a famous poet in a land to the far, far east. Now in his twilight years, his ability had withered so much that he could no longer craft a single stanza or verse. The poor poet spent every moment racked with sorrow for what had been lost. But one day, a monk appeared by his side, gently placed a blade in his hand, and imparted the following words.
What words?
Alright, Beastbane?
Yeah, we didn't do Beastbane.
Long ago in a faraway kingdom, there lived 3 brothers. The middle brother was a famous general who commanded a vast army. People everywhere were terrified of his troops, for they were the most violent indeed.
Oh.
It's weaker.
Yeah, well, Beastbane is supposed to be the strongest you can get at the moment.
Yeah.
Now what?
You want a katana though?
I mean, do you want to play with the katana? Or fight with the katana?
Stats.
I guess we're leaving the town? Or...
Oops.
I guess we are leaving the town.
Well, that's where the X leads, yeah. How many spears can I...
Hello.
That's it. Yeah. I can't really enter the Great Tree or anything. There's no entrance. Or... yeah, there's no entrance. That's it.
Yeah, guess so. We got the verse, so
That's the most I've spoken in my life.
guess we'll head back to town.
No, my throat.